Diane Sawyer's job is to cover the news, but her passion is to go beyond it. From the moment she first stepped into the spotlight, long before anyone knew the world stages she would grace or the lives she would transform, she has left an indelible imprint. Part brains, part beauty, part bravery, and all humanity have been the hallmarks of this local girl made very, very good. If ever there was a native daughter of Kentucky who's lived by the elements of her state's newest creed, unbridled spirit, it is Diane Sawyer. Diane Sawyer was born on Christmas weekend in the small western Kentucky town of Glasgow. Her parents, E.P. Sawyer, an attorney who had returned from service in World War II, and Jean Dunnigan Sawyer, an elementary school teacher, introduced their new baby girl to a watchful big sis, Linda. Soon they were inseparable partners in a southern sisterhood, riding bikes, snow sledding, and playing duets on the piano. Later, E.P. Sawyer would become Assistant Commonwealth Attorney, Attorney General, and revered county judge. Diane would graduate from Seneca High School. In 1962, Diane Sawyer was crowned America's Junior Miss, reciting an epic speech about the North and the South, and winning in spite of the graceful tumble she took down the stairs during the pageant. One of the many honors of becoming Junior Miss from the Bluegrass State was the opportunity to meet event judge Catherine Marshall, the author of the Appalachian memoir, Christy. Meeting Catherine Marshall was a seismic wake-up call. She wanted to shake us up, Diane recalls. Catherine admonished us to dream big and to make what we do matter. Inspired and challenged by those words, Diane began following her dream at prestigious Wellesley College in Massachusetts. 4 years later, and uncertain of her next step, Diane turned to her father for advice. As he so often did on the bench, E.P. Sawyer gave Diane direction with great wisdom. First, tell me what you love, and then tell me the most daring place to do it. Does that place have heart? And can you in some way serve others? Little did they know how prophetic Judge Sawyer's questions to Diane were. Her broadcasting career began with her first on-air job as weather girl and reporter at Louisville's WLKY-TV, the station's first female reporter. After an impressive detour into politics in no less than the press office of the Nixon White House, Diane once again broke into the Boys Club, this time on the national level, as the first female anchor on the legendary CBS program 60 Minutes. Her growing reputation for in-depth investigative reporting and interviewing soon brought her to ABC as co-anchor of the network's new primetime live news magazine, and later as co-host of Good Morning America. What began as a dare with co-host Charlie Gibson, a fill-in measure for a few months, has now turned into years of high wattage and occasionally high-flying morning television, the way more and more Americans are choosing to wake up and start their day. The qualities Diane first exhibited at Seneca High School in Louisville as cheerleader, future teacher, debater, and editor have guided her in making history of her own by interviewing the world figures and newsmakers we all want to know more about. Journalism had become the platform from which Diane Sawyer could meet the challenge made to her by her father and author Catherine Marshall. Dream big and make a difference in the world. Diane Sawyer is a consummate journalist. She has and continues to interview some of the most important people and most prominent newsmakers of our time. She rolls up her sleeves for investigative reports and makes a difference in people's lives. and she never hesitates to travel to the story, whether it's inside a women's maximum security prison to give us a view inside a closed world, or to Southeast Asia to convey the human toll of a tsunami, or to Kuwait for the latest developments in war. Diane Sawyer brings us extraordinary stories about ordinary people who inspire us all to greatness. With compassion and sincerity, she continues to do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of the story, including changing a few diapers. When asked for advice, she once said, "Be positive and kind. So much gets done by joy and laughter. So much gets done when you make your arms as big as the world." As a young woman, Diane Sawyer's feet were firmly planted in the good earth of her old Kentucky home. But passion and drive gave her arms a chance to reach out around the world. The golden girl who so famously never went to her own prom has by now danced her way into the hearts and minds of millions. On behalf of the Chandler Foundation, thank you, Diane, for dreaming big and making a difference. Thank you for the difference you've made in Kentucky and for never forgetting your Kentucky roots.